Hello everyone! Dragonflight launch is upon us, which introduces a brand new race and class to play. The Dracthyr Evokers, with the option of releasing innate power as chaotic red flames or focus blue magic to bathe the battlefield in destruction. Or you can call upon the Emerald Dream to rejuvenate life and the Bronze Sense of Time to prevent harm, damage or healing. But our awakening is rather confusing. The Dracthyr don't really know what happened or what is going on. Let us go back in time and talk about their story. Go back over 20,000 years ago, whereas the Black Dragon aspect Neltharion, who came with the idea of making these Dracthyr.
Neltharion, my general.
Combine the powers of the 5 different Dragonflights with the cleverness and potential of the mortal races that had begun to spread across their worlds. Through relentless training on the island called the Forbidden Reach, they've been honed into the finest soldiers on Azeroth to act as instruments of Neltharion's will. Their devotion and discipline was unmatched, not just out of their fierce loyalty towards their creator, their father and general. Neltharion also possessed a titanic artifact that looks like a hand, a glove that allowed him to hold more control over his forces. I personally imagine that the story of Dragonflight is going to reveal more details surrounding his artifacts, but one idea that's fun to consider is that this might actually be the hand of Keeper Tyr, the one who united with the dragon aspects to take out Galagrand. In one of the battles, Tyr lost his hands to the mighty beastie. Who knows, maybe Neltharion went back to the corpse and picked up the hand, turn it into a device that he could wield to impose more control over his Dracthyr. It is speculation, but in turn it also opens the idea of how much control, mind control, did the Keepers also have over the dragons. More on that later. Now all of his Dracthyr, they were assigned to a Wyrn that best matched their skills. Each Wyrn is focused on mastering a particular aspect of warfare, and every Wyrn shall be under the authority of a skill commander, a Dracthyr chosen and groomed for the position by the Earth Warder himself. Members of a Wyrn will become as close as clutchmates. It is a bond that shall never be broken, forged of duty and honor in service to dragonkind. You have attackers, or the Ebon skills, led by skill commander Sarkareth. This Wyrn is charged with bringing destruction to the enemies of the Black Dragonflight. Rain down fire, unleash spellcraft upon those who would stand against the Earth Warder. The Ebon skills shall train to be the end of any foe, no matter the size or number. With Dragonflight, Sarkareth will defect from the other Dracthyr, as they don't want to obey the word of another dragon, not after the events with Neltharion. They'll find their own path, rebel against the rule of dragons over lesser dragonkin, and form the so-called Sundered Flame.
I am done taking orders! Our vow to serve the dragons is sundered, just as Neltharion broke his promises to us! Let the Ebon scales be forgotten. We are now the Sundered Flame! We will claim the destiny that is ours by right!
His anger pushes him down a dark path. I dread the day we meet again. Not as friends, but as rivals on the field of battle.
Healers, or the Healing Wings, led by skill commander Viridia. This Wyrn shall be the face and symbol for hope amongst all those who call the aspects their allies. The Healing Wings are charged with mastering the arts of preservation and healing, wield the powers of time and the Emerald Dream to return those who are wounded to their full might. Where they're injured, the Healing Wings will be there to tend to them. The Healing Wings shall embody the resilience and fortitude of the Earth Warder. Viridia and her Healing Wings will spread out across the Dragon Isles, offering healing and comfort to any that need their aid.
Viridia, you could come with us. With... me.
I'm sorry, dear friend. My Wyrn will remain in the Dragon Isles. If fate is kind, we will not be parted long. Fair skies and strong winds, Syndra.
We also got the Defenders, or the Obsidian Warders, led by skill commander Azuratel. This Wyrn is charged to defend the allies of the Black Dragonflight, protecting its strongholds, whether it is deployed to reinforce draconic legions or guard the skies alongside the dragons. This Wyrn is the embodiment of the Earth Warder's ages. The Warders shall train to be the bulwark that enemy forces will break upon. Azuratel will follow Revamp into Stormwind, and they'll join the Alliance.
Behold, Stormwind, capital of the human kingdom and crown jewel of the Alliance. Ruled by a dear, dear friend who is sadly absent.
Impressive walls. This city could withstand attack by a formidable adversary. Perhaps even a dragon.
You have no idea. Now then, to make a proper entrance, pardon me while I assume a more recognizable form.
Ah, yes. The Earth Warder, too, had a visage. So these humans know you?
Indeed, I have no doubt they will welcome me with open arms.
The Infiltrators, or the Dark Talons, led by skilled Commander Cinderfresh, were the enemies of the Earth Warder threats. The Dark Talons shall harrow their skies, crush their will, topple their leaders, deny our enemies solace in walls and borders. For every Talon in our ranks, you shall strike down 10 of our foes from behind. This Wern shall train to be the elite force that shall be feared by all enemies of the Black Dragonflight. Cinderfresh, they will follow Abyssian into Orgrimmar, and they're going to join the Hordes.
Orgrimmar. Within these walls gather the noble races of the Horde. A city built upon a foundation of strength and honor.
Traits my people embody as well. Impressive structure, but nothing that would hold back the might of the Dark Talons.
I have no doubt your soldiers will be given many chances to prove themselves. Before we enter, I will assume another form. One that is more recognizable to the Horde.
A Visage, yes. I remember the Earth Warder had one too. Well, we have arrived. Where are your allies, Abyssian?
Patience, Cinderthresh. I am sure we will receive an appropriate welcome.
And then finally, there are the Tacticians, or the Adamant Vigil, led by skilled Commander Emberfall. This Wern shall be the eyes and ears of the Black Dragonflight and the legions of Dracthyr. Where our enemies treads, you will find them. Where their armies fly, it will be your guidance that directs their talons. Learn the weaknesses of our foes and amplify the strength of our allies. Only the most bold, most cunning, and most gifted commanders shall join the ranks of the Adamant Vigil. This Wern shall be granted unprecedented authority to act on its own initiatives and shall answer only to skilled Commander Emberfall and the Earth Warder himself. Emberfall is the one that you've seen hanging out with Nosdormu, cruising the timeways in search for answers. Her Wern has been destroyed by now, Emberfall being the only survivor.
Did you ask Nosdormu how long we slept?
Nearly 20,000 years.
But that's after the starting area experience. When they were created, together, these units would form the ultimate army for Neltharion. The world faced many threats, and the greatest of them were the Primalists, those that wholeheartedly disagreed with the path that the dragons had taken. To them, these outside influences and changes, be it the Titans' empowerment or the powers of the Void, it was unnatural. It was order imposed upon them. And truth be told, the Primalists, they make a good point. We've seen the control that the Gauntlet had upon the Dracthyr, something described as a Titan relic. Neltharion has been condemned for listening to the whispers of the old gods and the corruption of his flight. But how different is that from the Titans empowering proto-dragons into dragons? If the Gauntlet was able to hold dominion over the Dracthyr's mind, did the Titans do something to take control of the dragons as well? In the revamped uldaman dungeon, we do come across books that reveal more details on the early history of Azeroth, the Keepers tinkering with what we know compared to what actually happened. It also revealed that Yogg-Saron was responsible for Galagrond's corruption and threat to begin with, and it hints at titanic influence when it comes to the dragons and their eggs. They have specified in an interview that the influence is not as draconic as simple mind control, but it is most definitely influence and manipulation from birth. Now, while the full story with the Primalists and their actions, it still needs to be revealed, you can wonder if fighting for true free will is really that bad. Either way, that's a discussion for another day, I suppose. The Primalists, led by Raszageth the Storm Eater and the other primal incarnates, they fought an epic war with the aspects and the dragons. Another thing to consider is that we call the transformation of the dragons by the Titans, we call that an empowerment. And yet, we see that the raw primal elemental powers, they give them a good run for the money, which makes you wonder if that control, if that order, if that actually depowered them a little, or perhaps it has altered their might. The details on all of that, the details on the war and the rift between the Primalists and the dragons, hopefully that's all going to be revealed throughout the expansion. At this point, we can say for certain that Neltharion unleashes his Dracthyr forces. Many casualties forced them to then fall back until his artifact was destroyed and the order magic was dispelled. Everything became jumbled and confused, yet the great foe did not relent. Now for years, Neltharion has heard those whispers of the old gods, and in this moment, he decides to embrace the dark gifts offered. The dark void powers are able to turn the tide of battle. Raszageth and the others are imprisoned, which marks the moment in which Neltharion fell from grace. After this, the Dracthyr were placed within their crash, and the magic of Malygos placed them in stasis, into slumber. Now, we can't read Neltharion's mind. Nosdormu thinks that he did this out of fear for what they might become without his full control. But others, they've argued that this was one of the last acts of the true Earth Warder, storing his forces away, knowing that one day the world might need his Dracthyr forces before it would completely fall to the madness of the old gods. Who knows? But his best friend Malygos and the Blue Flight, they help him lock away the Dracthyr, potentially keeping that information away from the other aspects. Malygos and Neltharion were incredibly close. It would not be unreasonable to think that they would keep secrets between each other. 20,000 years have passed since then, and the world has changed quite a bit. Their old training grounds have been reclaimed by nature, and a huge shout out to Suwan, a VTuber that I follow on Twitch. They were streaming the Dracthyr starting area the other day, and they were like, have you seen this little Tusker village, or have you seen this hungry little dragon? There's a whole lot of exploration to be done on the Forbidden Reach, for those that want to take the time for it. Our Dracthyr are finally waking up with one heck of a hangover. They have no time for, beautiful exploration. They're unsure what happened to them. They're unsure what is going on. They recover their forces and supplies while finding a way out of the war crash. Barring their path is the blue dragon Lapisakos and the servants of Malygos.
Come forth, loyal servants of Malygos. Show no mercy to these aberrations.
They're still holding on to the orders given to them when the Dracthyr were put to sleep. We're not allowed to leave. Lapisagos is willing to go as far as to crash the entrance around us. We were meant to defend Dragonkind, not to fight them, but the blue is leaving us no choice. Today, we fight for each other. We fight for all Dracthyr. Those still trapped or asleep. Once outside, we get a feel for the wind again. We regain our strength and we relearn how to fly. Next destination is the Mender's Crash, that's dealing with a bit of a bug infestation.
Viridia! Viridia? Are you here?
All that remains of the mighty blue that was set to guard them is a whole bunch of bones. Going in and saving those still alive is going to take some antidotes, which is kindly provided by Viridia. As we gather the reagents for it, we also heal the injured. Yes, even the blue forces that were fighting against us. The healing wings do not stand idly by while others suffer, not to mention that the island has visitors.
The order is given.
Attack! Ebon scales, strike as one.
These vermin will disrupt a ritual!
They are unworthy of the dragon blood in their veins.
They mean nothing. Leave them. The elements have granted me the power I need. At long last, the mistress of the storm shall be free.
Primalists that have come to liberate Raszageth, locked away here so long ago by Neltharion. They're a real target to take out, and we do not stand alone either. The children of Neltharion, Revamp and Abyssian. They've been keeping an eye on us from above. They now add their might to our ranks. Together, we throw everything we have to stop the Primalists from unlocking the Froststone Vault. But it's simply not enough.
Mistress of the storm, the primal powers have risen to set you free.
What is this? The brood of Neltharion. I felt his demise reverberate through the earth, and reveled in it. Perhaps you wish to share his fate.
I had wished to become what he was meant to be. What he should have been.
You do not fathom what dragonkind was meant to be. But you will. Go. Tell them we will scour this world of the Titan's stain. Let the storm be the harbinger of our return.
Evoker, get moving!
Raszageth is unleashed. Their might so incredible that they're just toying with us, letting us live to send a message to the world. The storm has returned, on a quest to release her kin and topple the aspects. If they have their way, every trace and influence of the Titans will be scoured from this world.
Raszageth!
Ah, Nosdormu. I am pleased that not all of the aspects have met a bitter end. Not yet. Tell your queen I am coming for her. The storm's reckoning comes for you all!
The release of Raszageth heralds great danger for this world, just as your awakening heralds great change. The kingdoms of Azeroth must be warned. Go to them. Along the way, you may discover a new destiny of your own.
And the Dracthyr, they now find themselves free. No Neltharion to give them commands. The path forward is theirs to choose. Nosdormu showed what came before and what exactly happened to them. And now the choice is theirs to make. Their story will be their own, as some they spread out through the Dragon Isles, some rebel against everything they've known, and others they join either the Alliance or the Hordes.
Do not forget, Ibysian, that the Dragon Isles are home to the Dracthyr as well. We intend to rediscover our past and lay claim to our future.
Then let our peoples make this journey together, Cindrathresh.
Agreed. Along the way, we can hone your combat skills, despite your obvious lack of wings.
Dragon Isles is our home, not a place for outsiders to plunder. The Dracthyr will accompany the Alliance on this journey, but it will take time to build trust between us.
As a fellow soldier, I share your wariness, Azurathel.
Splendid! You two have found common ground already.
having dragons walk through their city. It's quite a shock for some. You might remember a certain Deathwing roaring at the top of his lungs on the gates of Stormwind. In his defense, we did hang up the head of Onyxia like it was a piñata, but still, dragons and mortals, they have quite the history. To make that addition a little bit easier, the Dracthyr harness the power of Visage.
A visage is an expression of how you want to be seen by others. Will you be friendly and approachable, or stern and intimidating? Certain of my kin chose the latter. As for myself, I settled on dashing and perilously handsome. The magic is within you, my friend. Look inside and focus on a form that reflects how you want the world to see you. Yes, that's it. The visage lies within you.
Time will tell what adventures on the Dragon Isles are going to bring for our newly added Dracthyr. So far, they've been a great help in pushing back the elemental invasions, but I'm personally really curious on how the story will deal with the morality of the Primalists versus the order imposed by the Titans, and the history of the Black Empire being erased. It's safe to say that Galagrond plays a big part in the story, as that's where the Dawnly aspects come from, and Galagrond's corruption was with the touch of the Void. The Primalists versus Neltharion, they also had the Earth Order embrace the Void over the Order from the Titans. Are we going to see a repeat of history, another fall of grace for the sake of the future? I can't wait to see more details, but for now, you're up to speed on the story of the Dracthyr so far. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Subscribe if you like my videos, leave a like if you enjoyed this one, and until next time, see ya!